Sweet Tooth is a 2012 novel by the English author Ian McEwan. McEwan began his writing career in the 1970s with two collections of short stories featuring murder, incest, and zoophilia. He then wrote a novella about a group of children who bury their mother in cement after she dies suddenly, and another about two couples who meet on holiday, one of whom has a taste for murderous sex. Unsurprisingly, he began to get a reputation. Nevertheless, his prose was universally acclaimed, and although the critics were divided about the stories, some were very enthusiastic. He began a new phase with The Innocent, about the creation of a spy tunnel in mid-1950s Berlin. In 1998, he won the Booker Prize for his novel Amsterdam, about euthanasia. Sweet Tooth is an espionage novel set in the early 1970s. There are three main characters: a young Cambridge undergraduate called Serena Froome, who's having an affair with one of her teachers, a professor called Tony Canning. Serena does poorly in her final exams, but Tony perhaps feels responsible for her, and before ending their relationship, he recruits her to MI5. Her job will be to keep tabs on a young upcoming socialist author called Thomas Halley. So she meets Halley undercover and offers him a grant. Then they embark on a relationship, helped perhaps by the fact that she likes his work. Unfortunately, and this is where the spanner enters the works, it turns out that Tony Canning, the professor, isn't at all who she thought he was, and that she's not even doing the job she thought she was. Critics were divided about Sweet Tooth. McEwan's best works are generally considered to be Amsterdam, Atonement, Enduring Love, and possibly On Chesil Beach. His more recent works may be as good as, or even better than those, but we're still too close to make a proper assessment. However, Sweet Tooth harks back to the era that formed McEwan. He's on record as saying that it contains elements of disguised autobiography, and it's always interesting when an author deliberately reveals a little of him or herself, especially when that's rare. Secondly, Serena Froome's a likeable character, and things end relatively happily for her. Arguably, however, the quality of McEwan's work has been consistent since the beginning. Besides, he's more than an important writer, he's a significant chronicler of English manners and mores. Anyone with any interest in contemporary literature should read at least one of his novels. His weakness probably lies in the fact that there's no distinctive McEwan hallmark. His style is precise and economical, but given an anonymised passage by Ian McEwan, and one by, say, Jonathan Franzen, most literate readers would probably struggle to tell the difference, and he has no ongoing themes other than a tolerant scientism. No critic would ever describe a novel as McEwanish, so it may be that he's fated to be remembered as a kind of modern-day Wilkie Collins for a small fraction of his output. That's a pessimistic forecast, and it would be unfair if it happened, but then the world is unfair. As for Sweet Tooth, even if the most pessimistic critics are right and it's not one of McEwan's best, it's still at least as good as just about any novel you'll read this year.